This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. It is Friday, Junior. We're happy to be here.
Yes.
Grateful you're watching. Welcome to DBL. Last night, Republican candidates went toe-to-toe in the second primary debate, and they spent a lot of time taking jabs at each other, including Nikki Haley, who went viral, I assume, after Vivek Ramaswamy for being on TikTok. Watch this clip from Fox News.
I have a radical
viral
idea for the Republican Party. We need to win elections. And part of how we win elections is reaching the next generation of young Americans where they are.
This is infuriating because TikTok is one of the most dangerous social media apps that we could have. And what you've got, I honestly, every time I hear you, I feel a little bit dumber for what you say.
May God have mercy on your soul. Remember that?
Yes.
Billy Madison. The front runner, former President Donald Trump, was not there, which made him a target for a lot of criticism. Take a look at some of this.
Donald Trump is missing in action. He should be on this stage tonight. He owes it to you to defend his record.
And Donald Trump should be here to answer for that, but he's not. And I want to look at that camera right now and tell you, Donald, I know you're watching. You can't help yourself. I know you're watching, okay? And you're not here tonight. Not because of polls and not because of your indictments. You're not here tonight because you're afraid of being on the stage and defending your record. You're ducking these things. And let me tell you what's going to happen. You keep doing that, no one up here is going to call you Donald Trump anymore. We're going to call you Donald Duck.
Okay, I came up with that one at the end there. Good one. Here's the question.
So did whatever writer he hired.
For sure. SAG writer, for sure. Here's the question. Was this Republican debate completely pointless, given that all of these candidates are at least 40 points behind Trump in the polls? Al, what did you think? Is this a waste of time? Was this a vice presidency debate for them to be his VP?
Here's a weird answer, yes and no.
Thank you for taking a hard stance.
Look, that's why people watch the show. Yes, it was a waste of time in that he's way ahead in the polls. There's no point in him doing the debate. But I think he should do the debates, and here's why. Donald Trump is taking L's left and right in court, online. Everybody's coming after him. He seems very vulnerable. We'll probably get to his businesses that are in great jeopardy in New York. I think the reason that we all came to know Donald Trump was because of those debates when he eviscerated Jeb Bush, when he made the old stand, right? Lion Ted, Little Marco, all these things that eventually became his brand. If you come at me, I'm going to roast you and I'm going to put a nickname on you that's going to stay forever. He needs some of those moments because right now, every time we see him, he's in front of getting into a car and saying something about I'm being lied on. He needs to get back and give his base some red meat to chew on, and that's why I think he should do the debates, not for the candidates. Not obviously he's going to be the nominee, but just to get a narrative out there that's pro-Trump.
Yeah, I agree. I think he should be there, but I don't think the candidates need to point that out. I think they need to worry about themselves and take the minutes that they have on television in front of a national audience and talk about what they're going to do. I don't need the Trump bashing. We've seen it enough. I don't need little hand and water. I don't need all that. You know what I mean? Here's another thing. I don't know what
no, you were right
Marco,
about that.
Like,
Little Marco, you're right.
The two
and a water
hands.
bottle.
It was Marco.
I don't even remember. There's so many.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, but whatever. Here, this debate to me was like, this is a bad analogy if you don't watch the UFC fights, but I'm a big fight fan, and every Saturday there's usually a big fight. You know, sometimes pay-per-view, sometimes you can get it for free on ESPN. This is a free fight. Nobody wants to watch. It's like, hey, are you around? Yep. I don't know. It's not a big deal. McGregor's not fighting. You know what I mean? If Trump goes, McGregor fights. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
People are tuning in to see what's going to happen. I don't know how many people cared about yesterday. They're 40 points behind, and to be honest, to say something nice about Trump, everyone goes crazy.
Is that the sound we all make?
That's what everyone at home. They're like, oh my God, my TV dinner flipped over. So here's the thing. Trump doesn't need to go. He's so far ahead. Exactly. Going could only hurt him.
Correct.
With all that's going on, which is so bananas, he's in court for over 90 indictments or whatever it is. Going would hurt him.
Thank you.
correct again.
And not only that, and may I say he could say something that could be added to discovery because of he said it. I think the lawyers are like, don't say anything. By the way, Little Hands was Trump himself.
No, Little Hands was Little Marco when he took the water bottle and he drank it with 2 hands.
Oh, I thought it was Little Hands. Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, my bad. I'm so sorry. Instead of attending the debate, Trump spoke at a non-union auto plant in Michigan. Let's take a look at Mr. Trump.
Before I stepped into the political arena 7 years ago, I spent my whole life working alongside of Americans just like you. Spent a lot of time with you. You just don't know that, but I spent a lot of time with you and people just like you. Now, I put everything on the line to fight for you. I've risked it all to defend working class from the corrupt political class that has spent decades sucking the life, wealth, and blood out of this country.
Meantime, the Trump Organization was dealt a huge blow this week when a New York judge ruled he and his business defrauded banks and insurers and canceled their business certificates. That means Trump could lose his business license and would be forced to sell all his New York real estate, including the famous Trump Tower, his hotel, and other buildings. So what do you think? Is Trump really going to lose his business?
Yes.
And does it matter, Al? Does Trump need his Trump Tower, or was that 80s, 90s, and now presidential Trump is 20 and apprentice Trump is 2000s?
What I just said about him taking L's on TV, this is the judge didn't even let this go. He made a judgment right there on the first day, which never happens. It'd be like you going to a divorce proceeding and the judge is like, it's so ridiculous in your favor that they rule right there. No jury, no anything. They also sanctioned the attorneys for having such a ridiculous argument on Trump's part. This was a 49-0, 70-0 blowout against Trump. This is a huge loss, and I don't know how they're going to recover. I know they have their money in other places, but this is a huge blow. When he loses Trump Tower and they take that Trump name off that building, that's a visual for you.
What do you think, Jeff? What do you think? It's a big deal or no?
I guess. I'm feeling, I don't know why I always revert back to he's kind of on the Chicago Bears right now.
Yeah.
He's got nothing going on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
he needs something.
He needs something going on.
That's why
Except
go back
he is
to those debates.
the primary running Republican candidate, though. So.
I think that's kind of, I don't see Trump winning. I just don't. I don't see 50% of the country wanting to see that circus again. I understand the benefits of Trump and why people like him, but I don't see 50% of the people liking him. And I think the Democrats want Trump to win because it's Joe Biden's best bet.
Interesting. Let us know what you think. Agree, disagree. We're going to be talking in the break coming up on DBL. Whew, a new photo of the Swift and the Kelce. They're touching, guys. They are touching. It lights up the internet as brands cash in on the rumored romance. Is the Taylor effect going too far? And Tiffany Thiessen is sharing how her new cookbook can help you level up leftovers. Al's been looking at the book and cooking with it lately.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Jeff was saying he didn't really understand the second part with Trump losing his businesses, but basically,
Is he trying to liquidate his assets?
No, they're going to do that for him. Remember,
ruled he committed fraud by
So he can no longer
way overvaluing. Like he would say his building was worth $270 million. When
So
it was
they're
really
like-
worth about $20 million.
So they're like, we're taking it away?
Your license.
yeah,
We're revoking your license.
they said
He was able to get fraudulent loans and tax.
yeah.
breaks
Did they prove
based
that
on-
yet?
Yeah, the judge ruled.
And that's you would think that you would need lawyers to. That's how obvious it was. He was doing things like saying his building was 40 floors when it was 31, and then getting it valued at 40 floors. Imagine if you were buying a house.
Yeah.
It was even
and,
more vast.
and yes, and then saying it's in different neighborhoods than it actually was, which affected.
I don't think this generation knows Trump as Trump Tower. This new
But
generation
his
knows Trump.
base is vote. His base knows him
I
from.
think they know him. I agree, but I also think Trump really reclaimed himself in a very John Travolta way, like from Pulp Fiction when he did The Apprentice.
Right, but he's losing that credibility
Is he?
when they take that Trump Tower off of the. It's going to be. You think that
He's
CNN's
had
not
7
going to be there?
bankruptcies already.
But
his
it's
business
not
is.
the taking off of the name off of the gold building. That's a
What
different
if he's
animal.
like, then good, then put it on the White House? He can easily pivot this.
It's not a good look.
It's not a good look, but will it really affect him in any real
His
monetary?
whole credibility is he's a great businessman and doesn't take any
But he
junk
is.
from anybody.
But if the 37% actually looked at any research, he's not a great businessman. His business often fails, and then he gets loans, and that's how he does
If you're
it.
not losing if you're not looking at the research and all you're doing is using your visual is showing you that they're taking the name off his buildings, off of his golf clubs. That's what you know him for.
I don't know. I think it doesn't do anything. I think Trump Tower is an 80s, 90s relic, and he'll just pivot and say, put it in the White House. Welcome back. Could Taylor Swift be a pivotal force in the upcoming presidential election? Taylor recently, are you okay? Oh, okay. Taylor recently encouraged her millions of Instagram followers to register to vote, and by the end of the day, 38,000 of them had followed through. Now, California Governor Gavin Newsom told TMZ the Taylor effect could spill over to the ballot box. Watch.
Taylor Swift stands tall and unique. Now, I know you may not be as interested in Taylor Swift as some of the others. But what she was able to accomplish just in getting young people activated to consider that they have a voice and they should have a choice in the next election, I think is profoundly powerful. And I think she's using her celebrity for good.
Speaking of Taylor, we now have some new proof that the romance between her and Travis Kelce, may be real. This photo obtained by TMZ shows Taylor with her arm around Travis's neck at a private party in Kansas City after his big win with the Chiefs. Now, some brands are also hopping on the Taviz bandwagon. Oh, I like Taviz. Trailer. Okay. This photo went viral. The caption said Taylor was eating a piece of chicken with ketchup and seemingly ranch. Now, Heinz has come out with limited edition ketchup and seemingly ranch sauce bottles. The Chiefs play the New York Jets this weekend. Rumor is Taylor is expected to be at that game in New York on Sunday. Is this gone too far?
Yeah. This is what I told you guys was going to happen. Remember when they looked at me like old man Al and just...
I called you old man Al.
Yes, well,
so
you called me that before the story. So.
First of all, you say remember.
Yeah,
it was Monday.
Yeah.
It was 3 days ago.
And think about how many stories, Jeff, since Monday. Think about how many stories.
He called me old man Al way back when. 3 days ago.
This is what I was worried about.
What is wrong? Who is this hurting?
It's so much.
Who is this hurting?
It's a lot. My ears. It's a lot to take in. It's ranch sauce. It's politicians talking. There's remixes on Fox. It's on CNN.
You got to give her credit for the voting.
Luggage and baby wear. Come on.
Let's just break it down really quick, though. You got to give her credit for the voting because she did get 38,000, and I think 152,000 at least went to look at the registration voting thing. That's like amazing to me.
Let me juxtaposition here. Let me throw it in there. What if she was a super Republican?
I was just thinking that.
And were you?
I was like, because Gavin Newsom is like good for her, and I'm like, what if it's the other way around? And I am still for anybody registering to vote. I still would sing her praises for getting people interested in young people to vote. But I understand that there's a double standard that she got those people to probably vote for what she wants to vote for. So I understand that.
Yeah. Oh, do you think we're going to see this more people with these kind of large armies encouraging?
We always do. What are you talking about? Everybody.
Really?
Bruce Springsteen out there playing. And there is no, again, I'm very neutral, it doesn't seem like it, but there is no entertainer that is super Republican. And when he is, he's chastised for being racist or whatever else it is, right?
Like the Kid Rock.
Well, I'm thinking of that guy who came out with Small Town or whatever.
Oliver Anthony, yes.
No.
I don't think
the
he
other
got
guy.
a lot.
The other guy.
Jason Aldean.
Jason Aldean,
right.
Yeah. Like if he came out, no one would say, hey, way to go, man. You got some voters coming out. It's just very one-sided. Hollywood is very liberal, and when people come out, they applaud them for their voters. Right. But if Jason Aldean went out and said, go out and vote, people would say somehow it's not a great thing.
I would say that the Jason Aldean crowd is the army opposite Hollywood. And
but would we applaud him? Would we say
for getting 38,000 people to register to vote?
I think the people on his side would. Everybody in this country has drawn.
Would Hollywood? Would we do it on our show?
Probably, yeah.
If
after he had that small town video, if he had go out and vote afterwards, would you say that after that video?
Bravo.
Dude, I know you think that, but your vision is not right. I honestly want anyone to register to vote and be interested in the political and civil discussion. That's all I want. Honestly, I know you think I only want one way.
I believe Tori in this one, not that I usually take your line.
I was here when we did that conversation. And if someone's like, hey, he also got 40,000 voters, we wouldn't say, hey, besides all that, good job for getting people
I
out to
disagree
vote.
with you.
We wouldn't say that.
I disagree
Tori,
with
when
you.
did people come at you and called you racist over what thing?
Oh, excuse me, Adrian Peterson.
Right.
People felt I was.
Yes, and I just said you took a lot of flack for standing up for the Constitution. Tori is more politics than she is a party, which is weird. Obviously, she's
Oh, don't tread on me.
Yes.
That was the one. Thank you.
Don't
I
tread on
appreciate
me.
that.
Yes.
I appreciate that. Coming up on DBL, our interview with the lovely Tiffany Thiessen, how she's sharing how her new cookbook was inspired by her family. It is yum yum. Coming up next. Welcome back to DBL. What do you do with your leftovers? Well, Tiffany Thiessen has a new cookbook filled with recipes for everything from cold pizza to breakfast cereal. Earlier, we spoke with her. Take a look.
Please welcome to the show, Tiffany Thiessen.
Yes.
How are you guys? We're doing well.
So good, Tiffany. So good to see you. I love this because I love leftovers. In fact, I had friends in town all weekend, and we barbecued, and I had everything left over, threw it in the crock pot, made a nice chili. Very proud of myself.
Look at you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. That means a lot. So where did your passion from cooking come from?
Oh gosh, it started I feel like right when I was born. I was that little girl peering through the kitchen, watching all the women in my family cooking together, having fun, and I just wanted to hang out with them.
Yeah, I like it.
I do too. I want to know what the craziest thing to happen to you while cooking was, because I heard you might have started a fire. This sounds like me in the kitchen. Talk to me, twins.
That doesn't sound very good for me when I'm trying to sell a cookbook right now.
True.
No, it was actually when I was doing a TV show called Dinner at Tiffany's, and I started an oil fire, which is I didn't even know it. That's what was so funny. The camera was on me. I was talking to the camera, doing my thing, and I didn't realize it, but the flames were like getting bigger and bigger, and my camera guy was like, look down.
No. Well, okay, let's talk about something that we've been kind of discussing, because we recently did a story that said family dinners are too old-fashioned for 2023. So what are your thoughts on that?
That's a good question.
It actually makes me very sad because I really sort of look forward to family dinners. It's our time to connect as a family. It's a time to put down the devices. It's a time to talk about our day, to be able to talk about maybe tomorrow. Like, I grew up where family dinners were extremely precious and very much looking forward, that we looked forward to it, we really, really did. And so we keep it going. We eat at home a lot, actually.
Those are cute kids.
I'm sitting here looking at Kelly off camera, nodding her head. I think that family dinners are a big deal to people, but it's been made to feel antiquated, but maybe we need to get back to that and reconnect. So I totally agree with you on that. Now,
I don't know, any chance we can get to be able to connect and without using devices and stuff like that, to me, is much more important.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you and your family have taken RV trips in the past couple of years. I have to ask you, what do you love about the open road? See, I would love to do this in theory, but I feel like both my kids would get car sick about a mile and a half in.
Well, it depends on what kind of road you're on.
Yeah, that's
really.
true.
But, no, it's kind of, I tell my kids this. I said it's really fun, of course, to get on a plane and go somewhere and go to the destination that you're scheduled to go to. But there's something really interesting and fun and cool to take a road trip somewhere where you're seeing things that are not planned. You're seeing little towns that are not on the map that you don't know about. Seeing experiences that that you didn't normally sort of plan out when you're taking a plane ride. A plane ride.
How adventurous. Can you imagine Tiffany Thiessen coming to your little town?
Hong Kong, hello!
Okay, so speaking of this,
You never know.
I love it. That's a whole show in its own. So speaking of nostalgia, I love your Taco Tuesday video with an old friend. Any chance we will see more dinners like this? And who handles their spice better, you or Mario?
I would say probably Mario. I just feel like, being that he's Mexican, he's probably a little bit better than me. But I do love a good spice.
I know spice is good.
I would say he's probably going to be better.
All right. And I just opened the page to her spaghetti pie. Oh my. Did you know you can make a spaghetti pie?
Now I do.
I know.
Everybody has leftover pasta and spaghetti, so I had to do that.
This is phenomenal.
It's a great idea.
Save a lot of people money.
Never thought about that.
Yeah, save a lot of money.
That's a great point.
The idea that I wanted was to really kind of showcase my kids, to show them how important it is not to waste food, right? I mean, we waste like about 40% of our food as a society, which is crazy to think. It's one of the #1 reasons for climate change, the impact that we put as humans. And so I really wanted to teach my kids that. I also, food's expensive. I mean, a lot of people are on budgets. I grew up, my parents didn't have a lot of money, so we were stretching food all the time. My mom is literally the queen of leftovers. I learned a lot of this from her. And my roasted chicken would turn into enchiladas the next night. I didn't even know it.
I love this. So practical. Thank you so much, Tiffany. Congratulations, and thank you for joining us today. DBL Nation, Tiffany's cookbook is out now, so be sure to pick up a copy. Thank you again, and great to see you. We'll be right back. Thank you, Tiffany.
Welcome back. We've got some great products from our friends at Morning Save. Check them out. Get ready to shop. Hey, Steph, I'm in the mood to shop. What do you got?
Check it out. We've got the Floor Police cordless motorized mop and extra replacement pads bundle. The 2 mop spinning heads are double duty and spin using the reusable pads to loosen, lift and lock in dirt. Normally they're $75 for. We have them for just $35. That's saving everyone 53% and a lot of elbow grease.
Very nice. And also look at all those extras you get.
Now this is so important to have. It's the Black & Decker 5-inch Smart Video Baby Monitor Pro with Wi-Fi.
Nice.
The monitor can be connected through the screen at home and an app on your phone that sends instant activity notifications. Normally it's $200. We have it for $49.99. It's saving 75%. If you're going to a baby shower, they're going to really be thankful for this.
Great deal for people.
Check out this Tori. We've got the Aquasonic Elite Advanced Ultra Whitening Rechargeable Toothbrush. This deal comes with 8 brush heads that will last you nearly 3 years.
Ooh.
It's great for traveling because the toothbrush can last 30 days on a full charge.
Month.
Normally it is $100.
Okay.
But we have it for $34.99. That's saving 65%. Now, that for all you sports fans out there, check this out. We have got the new era officially licensed NFL 940 framed adjustable hat.
Huge.
So the hat has an adjustable strap. It's got the embroidered logo. The textured mesh knit allows for breathability and some stretch. Normally it's $32.
Okay, not that bad.
No, we've got it for just $15. That's saving 53%.
Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices, or just scan that QR code. It's on the screen. It will take you directly to these products on Morning Save's website. Thank you so much, Steph. We had those hats out for 2.5 seconds, and someone took the Kansas City Chiefs ones.
No,
the hat because
where's the Chicago Bears one?
There was one up there.
Oh.
Oh no, it was the Cubs. We'll see you tomorrow.
Football.
Yeah.